You're welcome. You know, first of all, you have to know that this topic is very sensitive because it's creating a lot of business and a way of sustenance for a lot of people. And dabbling into this topic and saying it, breaking it down to really the nitty gritty that people need to understand is an affront on many people who are making a livelihood on it, who are making a name for it, and who just the mention or attachment to it just gives them some kind of instant fame, and they begin to use it to thrive and begin to live off of it. So you have to understand that element. Even though they accuse us the other way around and say, oh, she want to make a living, oh, she wants to make money. Like, since I'm doing this video, how many of you have given me stars? You come here to hate watch me, to hate watch my content. You try to bring down the page. Essentially, a lot of people seeing this page going is a very bitter experience for them. So every time they come here, they are looking for how to bring down this page. They are trying every way. And the only joy that they will get in their lifetime is when they come on Facebook and this page is no longer on. You understand? And they will still be accusing me, oh, they paid you, oh, they paid you, oh, they're giving you money, oh, you are making a living out of it. And you ask them, since I have this page, how many of you have given me stars? How many of you that come here to hate watch me have given me stars? But you go to pages where they say you should contribute money so that you go and sponsor those boys at home. You are very quick and very happy to go and give them stars, you give them money, you donate cash, you do everything. And then when they are causing havoc at home, then you start saying, oh, Fulani, these Fulani people, these DSS people, these Yoruba people, the enemy, the Ebubago people, now the dead body that they are not burying on 3 days, whatever, everything becomes the problem, but essentially the problem itself. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just being generic. Of course, I have supporters that love me, that support my work. I'm so sorry. When I'm using this platform, this streaming platform, I don't see the stars. Unlike when I was on Facebook, when I use Facebook's streaming, I see the notification immediately and I'm able to respond and say, oh, thank you. But when I'm here, I'm not able to see it and call out and say thank you for the stars. So I'm very, very sorry that I'm not able to do that. I don't know if there's any way to acknowledge that. So thank you so much, Linda, for the stars. I appreciate that. Good afternoon, Daniel. Good afternoon. Yeah, so my people, welcome back to Blessed wherever you are joining us from, whether you are joining from Facebook or from YouTube. I welcome you very much heartily. So I am doing this video today in light of all the conversation that we are hearing since the passing of the Queen of England, and the rhetoric that we saw, and somebody immediately was lashing onto it. And you're talking about colonialism, you're talking about the Biafra war immediately. If you want to attach Biafra, you get the acknowledgement immediately, because a lot of people, want to stay on that sobbing story, and they don't want to introspect and see the role that the person that they call their savior actually played. So I want us to look at it again today, this afternoon, and say, okay, let's re-examine Ojukwu's role. And you always say, go and learn history. You don't know your history. Come and tell us the history that you know. Where do you know the history from? What is the history that you know? How did you learn that history? You say they don't teach history in school, but you know some history. So how did you learn that history? And so, it's not a bad thing if you teach other people that history that you know, isn't it? So on that premise, I'm doing this video this afternoon. Good afternoon, Ozo. I greet you. Salut, I greet you. Moses or Sadeba, I greet you. Ozo, I greet you. So, what happened is that, first of all, we had a regional system. Ezokwu, I greet you. Steve Morgan, I greet you. We have a regional system of government. And at that time, every region was supposed to manage their own regions. And Quite frankly, regions were doing well at that time. There was less population, the country was just new. They just got the independence. So I don't want to go into the story before the independence. I want us to start from after the independence, and everyone where had their regions, and everything was going on well up to a point. And then that regional government was kind of halted in a way that normally the regions were supposed to generate the resources from their place, and use it. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's why I'm going to share the link. And then at some point, someone changed that regionality and said, instead of the regions to generate for themselves, that they should send the money to the center so that the center will redistribute it. You understand? So the role Ojukwu played, the main role Ojukwu played is when it got to this point, after the counter coup and the agri-ironsi was taken out, you understand how it was done. So Ojukwu didn't want to remit to the center again. And when you're a military ruler and you don't obey orders, it's mutiny. It's mutiny immediately. And so that mutiny comes with consequences once you are under military rule. And because Ojukwu was trying to avoid this mutiny, that's actually the main issue that he dragged the whole ethnic nation of Igbo people at his back. And that's the video that I played for you yesterday, where they were interviewing him and asking him, this thing you are doing, don't you see that it's going to cause, a problem, even up to the point of, say, big boze, eh? And then he said, no, that even if it comes to that they are ready for it. That's what they have been ready for a long time. And he said that the Nigerian side, they don't have anything. They just have 4 platoons. That they are trying to get aeroplane. They have not even been able to get aeroplane. But he was stocked up. He had everything. And he was going to shock them. They don't know what is about to come upon them. I played the video for you guys yesterday, so no need to go into that. So at the end of the day, when it happened that Nigeria came to defend its territorial integrity, it happened that he wasn't ready. There was no army. There was nothing on ground. There was nothing. There was no food. There was no medicine. There was no support. There was nothing. It was just his ego, just like Kano was doing. He had no military training, and he was going around and doing parade for him, and he wants to become king. The same way, Ojukwu just wanted to become king. All of a sudden, he wanted to become head of state. All of a sudden. And then he packed people on his side and lied to them and pump up their spirit. You don't have anything prepared. And it is the consequences that we are still dealing with today. Take, for instance, now that this problem is going on between Russia and Ukraine. Let's assume that their food depend on this other side. And now that they are saying, no, they are not going to sell, they're not going to buy. And that now Russians are saying, they cannot have food, or they don't have food again. And then they will not say, you are the one that caused me not to have food. You are the one that supervised that they block food. But when you know that you want to, you are ready. You think it's a child's play. You want to go and take out. But before I talk too long, in January of the same year, Ojukwu did his own in July. But in January, or was it in February 1966, the same year, 1966, in the same year, Adakaboro, he came out with his men. He said that they don't want to. Yeah, there was a break in connection there. So, like I was saying, Adakaboro said he don't want to do Nigeria again, that the people of the eastern region, they are dominating them from the coastal region, that they don't want to be part of this Nigeria under this eastern region. They want to go and be their own Niger Delta Republic. So that this thing Ojukwu was doing is not the first time somebody said they want to leave Nigeria. You understand? It didn't work. So Adakaboro now made that declaration under Ojukwu as governor of the eastern states. So you can see the men here. These are some pictures that are available. They are from the coast, and they said they want to go and, show their force. They call it 12 days. They want to revolt. And what happened under the stewardship of Ojukwu, the then military Eastern governor? They brought down the federal troops, just like any federal government will do. Any federal government, they will defend their territory. They brought down the troops. They took him out. They finished them off immediately. They got hold of him. They got hold of him. You can see him here with the troops, eliminated, finished off, and he was taken to court. And when he was taken to court, he was judged, and the judgment was that they are going to buy him. And they put him inside, so that he will wait for the time they will commute the judge. They will do the work of the judgment. So while he was there, things changed. What happened with Agui Ironsi? It happened, the counter coup, they removed Agui Ironsi in that way. So everything changed. Power changed hands, region. Then Ojukwu said he's not going to send the money again to the center, as it was going on since Agui Ironsi changed the regional. And that was the root of the problem. And they were saying, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. That was the real contention. So they went to Aburi and to her, because they were not trusting each other. Let's do the meeting here. This one is afraid because of what happened to Agui. Maybe he will go to Ibadan. Maybe he will go to Lagos, and then something will happen to him there. So they now say, okay, let's look for a neutral ground, because at all this time there was a negotiation going on from the African Union. They are trying to calm the nerves and but this guy was fired up, just like Kanu was doing. Everybody is intellectual, fulefu, they don't know anything. He was fired up. When they go to African Union, they were tempering, and he said no, he was giving big speech. He want to go and show that he don't learn Oyibo English, he don't sabi how to do Republic. Okay, when they finished the whole agreement there in Aburu, they now came back to Nigeria. It now turned out that the way they negotiated it for Gowon, they said they realized in his side that they don't want it like that again. You understand? So because of that, Ojukwu said no, he's not going to accept. Okay, then I said, okay, renegotiate again. Let's continue the talk. He said no. You want to go and face them. And that was at the point of that interview. He was already, marching, becoming already head of state. And I told him, this thing you are doing, it can lead to a big katakata for here. He said, no. He ready, even if it lead to it, that is what they are born for. They have been ready for it for a long time. And that for them, it go to beat the fight, say they want to get their freedom, whatever. So in the end, he eventually went to inside that fight. And another thing, when they were doing interview with Alex Madebo before he passed, he just recently passed, BBC did interview with him. The guy was saying that the old man, let me not say the guy, he was saying that at the time that they didn't have anything, and they were not even ready to go and really fight Nigeria, but that they did not know that Nigeria was going to come and fight them like that. And I was like, really? Like, you're a military person and you are committing mutiny, and you don't know that Nigeria is going to come. But under your watch, you know how Adakaboro and his men of 12-day revolution were dealt with. And you are not saying you didn't know. And Ojukwu was there downplaying the strength of Nigeria, telling them it's a walkover, that they should not worry, it's a walkover. And that's how all of them went inside there. The British people did not send troops into Nigeria to come and fight for them. Already they told us that we want independence. They gave the independence, and not only us. And everybody understand the uru that underground, how all the thing that is going. We are not the only one. Like I told you guys before, this life, The big people are the ones, they are on top doing their thing. You that you are under, you have to find a way to wriggle yourself out. But somehow these elders, they did all these things. They now connived and poisoned the heart of the young generation and told us all these lies and told us that they did not know. And the worst thing that they did was to lift up Ojukwu, like, in the Bible where they said that the way they lifted Moses, that Moses lifted that snake and say, if you will look upon it, that there comes your salvation. And these Igbo people have been going with all the time. And they lift the image of people that have brought untold suffering. And they say, these are your saviors. These are the people you should praise. These are the people that meant well for you. These are the people. And so you are looking at them and you are praising them. You that you ready the whole population. And the worst part, the people of that same Nigeria Delta that he was forcing them to remain in Nigeria, that they cannot go anywhere, he still drafted them into the same Biafra that he said he want to fight for. And on top of that, he now used Igbo people to clothe that Biafra that he is doing. And the worst part is there's nothing concerning Igbo people in all of it. When he gave the declaration, it was written in English. When he printed the money, it was British pound. You say British is not good. You say British people no good. But na their language, you say they do your declaration. You know their language. Na their money, na meaning Nigeria you dey create. Big Nigeria, meaning Nigeria light. You do money, British pound, Biafra pound, the same thing. You speak English, the same thing. You go carry Oyibo anthem. Wey get high tone, wey nobody fit sing. Even people of that time, they don't know that lyric. They just dey play that thing for radio. Oyibo voice, na the singer. They say na anthem. Everybody dey nod head. Nothing concern Igbo people inside all those things. Nothing concern. Okay, you say these people they're not good, no the same country, no the same language. Then you come again, you carry people wey no be the same language. You want to dey use the same, like Nigeria they do im own. They do your own Nigeria light, meaning Nigeria. And you can't carry Igbo people, rub on top the whole wahala. And people buy for nothing. And nobody is trying to talk about the role that man played. And when the heat was unbearable, he now ran away. He now ran away. He now ran away and left them. They no see him again. Just like that Operation Python, that one is blowing that, oh, me and the zoo, who is afraid of each other? We are the zoo, who want to fight each other? How dare you? How dare you? So how dare they say, oh, Hama. Before he hear him, they don't wear a hijab, they don't carry a rope. And he was saying it that there was evacuating him before they got to his room. Person wey get leg and hand, wey they claim superior. When he hits the fan now, he said they evacuate am. They evacuate that one self. So they evacuate themselves. Evacuate themselves. The person that told our people that, oh, they have everything ready, they will shock them, they don't know what is awaiting for them, they will deal with them. What did they bring? He carry long stick, with one see the long healthy stick, long stick. And he know that those people, they get everything, but he carry long stick give them. All those one, because they are for their mind, they go deal with them. Waiting. He said there be only 4 platoon. They no rich. They don't even get anything. They carry them. Carry one, go carry big stick, give them. Then they march. See them. Then they march. Then they happy. He gather them. He dash their rank. If you just call, you go turn to major, general, hey, lieutenant, constable, hey, the big name, they answer. Nobody care to know. Say, now like this, I'm sitting down, Mr. Francis, where God will punish you. I'm sitting down, okay? No, don't distract me. Don't distract me. You see, they don't want to sit. They don't want us to talk about this one. Carry children, they train them. You won't go back to, eh? Yeah, we have to tell it as like it is. And if you list, thank you. Yesterday, do you know yesterday when I was playing that video, I put that video in the chat. Go and listen to it. Hmm? You know, he was talking, just you will know that Nahadi listening to that guy very well. He's even like he really practiced that way the man is speaking. Hey, I gotta do it there. The thing just is sweet. Hmm? I say to Ijele, good afternoon. Small children, he wants to go show them. They don't know what is coming for them. So we are looking at two people that did the same thing. Two people. You want to tell me that this one under his watch, he take care of this one, he deal with this one, he clear that place for Nigeria. He can't do the same thing. When I say, no, he did it for us. He did it for us. The easiest thing they always say, they will say, yes, so they were doing this thing to our people for that side. They see what they do our people for here. See what they do our people for here. Okay, fine. If you read some of the chronicle, they'll say in 1945, somewhere in they say somewhere in is it somewhere like Jos, they did like this for Igbo people, thousands of Igbo people, hundreds of Igbo people for Jos, something like this for 1953, in Kano, so thing happen, so they will come they give you list, you understand? Okay, shebi that time na regional government we get, wetin happen? Why they go dey cut person, e go dey there na three? Shebi na regional government, everybody suppose to dey in region. If they dey do like that, why una no go that time? It was very easy. And your revenge was supposed to, after everything, you go stay back there, try to develop the place, try to make that place livable. Na lie. Kia, everything they don't run go back. We come the year, they go the year 1980, 1982, 1990. Wetin happen? You be three. You don't be say you be like Black American people where they no get where they run go. You get everything now. You get your own land, you get your own state, you get your own local, you get everything. Where you come, they run up and down, they go. Where they run up and down, they go. You know, say, okay, then do all this thing for 1945, e no good. Why nobody go say they won't go fight that time? That time, na Igbo people there for everywhere. Just a second, my people. Good afternoon. Sorry, my people, there was a break in transmission. Yeah, so it was a regional government. So you expect that they are supposed to stay in, at least majority. So there are other things that they are not telling us. You understand me? And I've looked at the video of, don't know whether it's Sadana or Sokoto that was saying that they have northern agenda, and they want people northern, that they are training northern people now, and they would rather have a northern, and they would rather have a foreigner or something like that instead of putting an Igbo person, that when an Igbo person comes that they'll take over the place and all those things. So at first, when the video was being shared, and I'm looking at the video, and it's, the first narration that comes to your mind, oh, they don't like us, oh, they don't like us. And look at what this man is saying, that they would rather take European instead of to put Igbo people. And then I have to think about it, but the guy is saying, he's not even saying Nigerian agenda, he's saying northern. He's saying northern, because at that time, everybody had their region. There was northern region, there was a western, midwestern region, there was Southwest region, there was a Southeast region. So everybody was supposed to be in their region, and you would expect that that region first, the youth of that region first. So maybe in the beginning, the youth of that region didn't have access to education, they were not trained, they didn't have the qualification, and you brought people from other regions to fill in the gap. And now you are training people from that region, and you are looking that maybe by the time they are coming up, that they will have a place also to be filled in. And the natural assumption is that you will go back to to thrive in your region, because that's the essence of the regional government. And this is actually the burden of converting it to a unitary system, so that this question of go to your region will not come in. You understand? So at the end of the day, isn't it a shame that we have always had Igbo land and we have never been able to live there? And we have never been able to develop it. And it has always been a case of we being all over places, in other people's faces, in other people's spaces. It's like when you go to people's house, every time you are a visitor here, you are a visitor there. At some point the person will be like, I beg, go your house, wait till happen. So we already have our own place. And this is before the war we are talking about. And we were all over the place in thousands, in thousands. And naturally, it brings animosity when people are in large number in your space. That is what we see it here in Europe also. When people are in large number, and there's scarcity. Normally, when people are in large number in other people's region, naturally, if everything is going on well, there's work, there's money, business is booming, everything is fine. There is no scramble for resources, everything is fine. But once there's a little scramble for resources, immediately the differences will begin to be taken note of. And once there's a scramble for maybe accommodation, they will then start making differences. And we are living witnesses of it, because we have traveled. Eh? We have traveled and we are living witnesses of it. We are living witnesses of this animosity that we are facing everywhere where we are. And in Nigeria, at the time, we had regional government. Everybody was supposed to thrive in their region. Everybody was supposed to build their region, but we couldn't do that. And now everything is, again, unitarialized, but everything is still kind of subdivided into states. And we still have states that is still completely our own. And we are still not able to convert it to a hub of any kind of development of or human increase. When they look at me, they say, you are in another man's country. You are in another man's country. I've never said I'm not in another man's country. I have told you the difficulties that you face when you are not in a country that is of your own. When I was in my village, nobody bothered me. Nobody told me. There was always that sense of belonging. I could name my grandfather. I know my village. I know my part of town. I know everything. Like it was not a question like, where are you from? Everybody knows you are from here. It's part of us. But once you leave your village, it becomes, where are you from? Like when you leave Igbo land and you go to Lagos, you realize immediately that you are Omonna or something, like, where are you from? And you begin to talk about, in my place, this is how we do it in my place, because that is the first culture shock you will experience when you are leaving your place and you are going to somewhere else. And that's the same thing you experience when you go for youth service. For example, you have been in Yoruba land all your life, and then all of a sudden you are brought down to the east, and you experience that culture shock immediately. So let us revisit the role Ojukwu play. Hmm? Let us revisit the role Ojukwu play and give him credit for his misdeeds, so that you can move on. But if you are not willing to give Ojukwu the credit for his misdeeds, everybody will come and latch onto it. I told you guys, Ojukwu, what he did was bad, but when he came, everybody welcomed him. You can see how they welcome him here. They were happy to have him back. Look at, they are celebrating him, and they are very happy to have him back. And so, because he never paid the price for anything, anybody will, he still groomed Wazurike. He still groomed Wazurike. Look at him here. Look at Wazurike. Owazurike had to take up from him. Owazurike had to take off from him. And him too became Ezendibo. You can see him, see Owazurike, see his wife when he passed. Good evening, Ada. You can see it. See him, see him. So it's the same thing that is happening because we have not treated the real disease. That someone use a whole ethnic nation to cover his own sins, to escape his own judgment of mutiny against the Nigerian state that he was a governor. And that is what we are dealing with till today. And on that basis, Owazurike came and did his own. On that basis, because you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you didn't take the critical look into what happened. And that is why Kano also came from the background to work on Women Rapper, Your New Savior is Born, on the same backdrop. Because you have not looked at the disease. You have not taken it into account. What happened? You see, everybody want to come and be your king. They want to be your king. They want to rule you through the back door on the premise that they have come to save you. You understand me? So when you are talking about colonialism is something that happened to all Africans, and not just Africans, even Asians. It's something that happened to every one of the minority. You see him here; he's now a king. So you don't even know which uniform to wear. Today he will wear wrapper here, tie or jar. Tomorrow he will sit down like a king. Next tomorrow he will carry a coupe, wear feather, like everything. Because why? You have not visited the real problem. You have not gone to the root of the problem. That is why anybody can come and play with your emotion. You see the new savior before, you see today, he is wearing beret. He wants to be a warrior. He's wearing beret. He wants to be a warrior. The next day, he becomes a Jewish rabbi. He's praying. He's praying like a Jew. Don't know. Tomorrow, he wants to be a king. He wants to be a military governor. Everybody should be giving him trumpet. Hey, they are saluting him from the back door. Why? Because you don't want to deal with the root of the problem. So, my people, I've said what I want to say. And so I want to hear from you. What is your own history? Where did you hear your history? And why do you think that you want to exonerate Ojukwu from what he has done? Yeah, Alex Madebo, he even gave that speech before he passed. He gave some insight, and he said that he was actually the one that came to put up all this defense, that there was nothing, that if not for him, the thing would not even exceed 3 months. But you guys know. And in the end, he also said, they told him that game is up, that they need to leave, and they gathered their children and they left. Yeah, like the thing is, me, I am not a combatant person. Like, I'm just, we are out of this thing and we swallowed it like hook, like I say. And my thought has always been that it was something to defend yourself, like they didn't have any option, that they were just sitting down and they came upon them and troops coming from air, not knowing that it was something that this guy was orchestrating, and they were telling him and he wouldn't listen. So his ambition was just to be the president. Basically, that was his ambition. Oh, we have a guest. Hello, you're welcome.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Good afternoon from here, Nigeria.
Good afternoon.
How is the family?
We are fine, thank you.
Okay. I've viewed the topic is very interesting topic, and it is really in my mind. I think I chatted. There was a post you did, I think, a few hours ago, which
Yeah,
I responded to the post, and we
yeah,
have what do you call it, exchange of words with someone of the guy there, and I
Okay.
realized that history they were told was purely lies. And I've always said in your program that we are not bad students of history.
Mm.
We were told the real history of what happened during the time, and we have crime it, and whatever time we have, we need to maybe state it out the way it is. Even if it affects us or it affects our people, we have to say the truth. But the truth is very, very bitter. I
Yeah.
always mean you have to bear this in your mind that you are doing
Yeah.
a very taxi job, and the reward, honestly, I
Unpaid
have
job.
said thank you very much. The reward, honestly, is going to come from God Almighty. I have said time without number that God Almighty will bless you, will
Thank
protect
you.
you and your family, and will also reward you in your life for the good work you're doing to see that you liberate the mindset from the told lies for them to come back to see the reality of what is really the truth.
Mm.
Going to the topic, honestly, I think if I could remember, there was one video you shared, I think 1 year ago, so to say, of
Okay.
one professor who told the history of what really happened or what really transpired
Mm.
during the Abuja Accord.
Okay.
That time, I think he narrated all the event or all the incidents that happened during Ojukwu time and Gawan, so to say. But it's
Mm.
very unfortunate. Those who call themselves history seekers or those who want to succeed from Nigeria turn down the history to tell them lies in order to
Mm.
toy with their emotions. But honestly, if someone can give time to listen to that particular interview, I think Channel TV had with that professor
Yeah.
about the history, will really grab some important points about the history of what happened.
Mm.
For me to just pinpoint before I drop, pinpoint some areas the professor talked about during the Aburi Accord. I
Yeah.
remember him saying that Ojukwu was only after power.
Mm.
That was what led him to engage in war with the Nigerian country as a then, so to say. He
Mm.
himself knows that he's not going to win this war,
Mm.
but because he's hungry of power, really he wants to rule whatever it costs. He
Yeah.
can sacrifice whatever he has at his disposal at that time
Yeah.
to rule Nigeria, so to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it leads to where a state where we call there's one guy what
I
Adakaburu.
alighted
No, not Adakaburu, sorry.
at the Lagos.
Ifajuna.
Yeah.
Ifajuna was there. He told him that, sir, I am ready to sacrifice my life to the Nigerian government for this bloodshed to stop, for this war to stop.
Mm.
But at the long run, Ojukwu paid that man with his complete family or entire family.
Yeah.
And people are not talking about this one.
Mm.
They keep deceiving themselves, living on denial, calling Ojukwu a hero. Well, meanwhile, he's not a hero. A
Mm.
person who leads people to their early graves and run
Mm.
away to Cote d'Ivoire, how
Mm.
can he become a hero?
Mm.
We know that leaders lead from the front, not from the behind. But Ojukwu know inside him that this war is not going to be won. But he leads to the million of Igbo people, Igbo warriors, to be pride for his selfish interest. And at the same time, these people are calling him hero because they want to achieve one criminal agenda. It's very unfortunate. Very
Mm.
unfortunate that we found ourselves in such circumstance where history, the real truth of history will be turned down to be told lies in order to play with the emotions of people. And at the same time, I think I once said this in your program, I'm not going to repeat it now. One of the history of Igbo people I have read is that anything that is life consuming, Igbo people need to close that chapter. They
Mm.
will close the chapter completely. If there is a well in an Igbo land that have consumed or pie some people, that well will
Mm.
be closed completely, will be shut down completely. So I
Mm.
don't know why now the issue of this so-called Biafra have risked or have pied the life of so many youths in Igbo land. But
Mm.
yet, some criminal found it a way to continue eating the money or buying some people. I don't know why.
Mm.
And some illiterate are still supporting this criminality. to be sincere.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So for
Um,
the last time, I really want to appreciate you for always trying to find time out of no time to see that you liberate the mindset and told the people nothing but the truth. I want to
yeah.
assure you that God Almighty is with you and you will be
Thank you.
surely protected. I really
Thank you so much.
appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for giving me time to speak in your program.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I don't know anybody that wants to join. The link is there. You can join and tell us your own history. Like Umubingo, all I can tell you is that insult and attack is not a comment. This is an open session. The whole world is looking at you. So, or they will get to watch this thing at some point. You know, these things we are doing is history. At least some people will know that we talked about it, we put it out there. So come now and exonerate Ojukwu and tell us your reason with all the evidence we have played so far. So you can tell us why exactly you think that he should be exonerated.
Now, the problem is this: can any of them dispute anything you are saying? The problem
Hmm.
is their version of history, they are trying by all means to enforce it as reality. That you bought it, that you bought that thing and have stayed with it for a long time, does not make it true.
Yeah.
There is something fundamentally wrong with trying to enforce and reinforce failure.
Hmm.
It's not just going to work.
Yeah.
It's time to evaluate. For instance, like you said something, everything we are saying online is here forever.
Hmm.
We are getting in contact with books written 2,000 years ago. How much more something that is in the cloud? Do you know how many years and the number of people that will have access to it? Your children will grow up to see this thing. My children, some of them are already watching and they already understand. There is none of my kids that you can brainwash. I dare you, I give you any one of them to stay with you for 1 week, you will develop headache just by just by answering questions. They will be asking you questions. You will pull off their chest to check whether there is a machine somewhere speaking through them.
Hmm.
That is how you are supposed to do. Throw away everything you think you know. For instance, Ojukwu's broadcast is the biggest evidence against Ojukwu.
Yeah.
Nnamdi Kanu is the star witness against Nnamdi Kanu in Nnamdi Kanu's case. I told you this. It doesn't matter how you feel. He's going nowhere. Now they've forgotten him. Shouting Obi Obi. Ojukwu's, the biggest witness against Ojukwu is Ojukwu. Because watch the BBC interview. He was telling them that all those people are volunteers, that they just want to fight.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, our grandparents were hiding their children in their homes.
Hmm.
Some stayed in the bushes.
Hmm.
See, tomorrow I will always be grateful to Uguta people. My grandmother had to run with my father to Uguta. They left home because
Yeah.
they were searching every home and capturing children and sending them into battle to fight.
Yeah.
And these things, most of these deaths happen in Imo, Abia State, and Anambra. And when I say Anambra, no, we did not even feel half of anything. Agulu people, do you know how many Agulu men that died in that war? And all these ones, the problem is that some of them that are hearing this that would want to ordinarily attack you, but then some of the things you are mentioning happened in their place. That's why they are quiet.
Let me just interject and say something. Also, you said I should remove. This is Ijele's profile actually. As I told you guys in my solo commentary that this thing that they call Biafra had nothing to do with Igbo people. It's cut and joy. Ojukwu went to take everywhere possible. You see that flag? It was already something that Marcus Garvey was using to be fighting for liberation of Black people in America. That flag, red for all the Obara Akwafuru, you know, green for the all the bountiful you know, resources, and you know, the black for, you know, our you understand. Ojukwu just went to carry that in and put a sun inside. That's all. And can't even went further to add a Jewish one inside. So it's not their own. This is normal for
My sister, you see the problem with people.
UNIA or
You see
something
the
like that.
problem. You see the problem with people. You one thing you don't know, sit down and learn. Ah, my
So
brother,
like I was
I
telling
know
you,
you.
the flag go no be our own. You go carry and say, this one be like say this one might just put on sun.
Copy, copy,
He
copy,
paste the
copy
sun there.
everything.
You look their money, say this British money, if fine, we go just call our own Biafra dollar. You know,
Pounds.
even in those days when we were reading Igbo books, they used to say our money was cowries. Me, I was even thinking they would go and form a currency that would be like cowries. No, not pounds. I don't know. You
And
are
the
you can
machine,
continue.
wait now. They force people to change their naira, and most of them they trick them. The big men they force them to change their money to Biafra currency that they themselves were printing.
Mm.
They
Now,
themselves were
they were
printing.
printing.
Do you know what they stole at Central Bank Benin and seized the Central Bank of the Eastern region? All the gold Ojukwu, let me tell you. You see Muhammad Buhari, I love history. One thing about history is that you cannot go back and correct yourself. You see, Pitobi, he would have wished he did 20% of the things he's claiming that
No, again, I
he
don't
will.
want to go
No, I
partisan.
don't want to go there. I'm not
Let's
diverting
just
there.
keep it here.
I'm
Yeah.
just giving you, please, I'm just giving you history. I'm giving you an example of what history can do. You
Okay.
can't change it. That's why you can, anyone that his character is not the same thing he carries 20 years ago, 25 years ago, go and check it. The person is not legit. You can never be genuine. But when you see somebody, let me give you an example. Ojukwu. At all times, have you ever seen Ojukwu's picture where he looks like a frontline soldier?
He was
It is
always
all
where he was
this
collecting
soldier
salary.
ndị afọ bịa anọ na tebụl na-asụ oyibo maka ọ gụrụ akwụkwọ na UK. Mgbe ọbụla ịfụrụ ya,
If civil war comes,
Alice, okay?
and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right. It will for us be the price of freedom.
Wow, that's a Senate fund there. Na kannst du mir was denkst du denn? Du kannst mir was bringen. Ich freue mich drauf.
do you want to mute your own side? So I will keep on, I will continue talking.
Yeah.
Okay, now look at Ojukwu. At all times, did you see his body ruffled for 1 minute? You will look at Buhari, his picture during the war, frontline soldier. They nearly killed him at Mpo. The Battle of Mpo would have cost his life because of his height. And he was leading from the front. Till now, even as a president, he still maintains his same weight. Ojukwu, obesity contributed to the death of Ojukwu. While he was in Abidjan, did he even send any money and say, oh, this school in Nne, we build it in my name. This school in Onitsha, build this one in my name. All the money, all the gold they stole, where did they keep it? Nonsense. All the money seized from Benin and foreign currency, 5 million pounds, British pounds, that was not changed. Where was the money? Everything. The war reparation they gave you, they gave everybody 20 pounds. Did your grandfather get shishi? My sister, you are mute. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk.
I say me, myself, my family, we not still see anyone.
I have not met a single person whose grandfather collected shishi. They said they paid for the soldiers that died. Buhari, all the money Buhari paid for Biafran soldiers, go and check. 500 million of that time is like nearly 2 billion of today. That money, those Biafran soldiers that they paid their pensions, the dead ones, did they give them that one again? Nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, Jelly,
Profiting
thank you.
off of your stupidity.
Jelly,
Profiting
please,
off of your.
we mind our words here. You know, I
Okay,
don't
sorry.
want.
Okay. Profiting off of your mumuism.
Yeah.
Profiting off of your Iberibe. Your Iberiberism is their biggest factory. Your Iberiberism is their stock market.
I feel like the main problem we have is the closed mindedness. I don't understand it.
Yes.
How can you be this close minded and you want to? And you know, it's like ironic because on the one hand you are close minded, someone got into your head first and you closed your mind there. But on the other hand, you want to force another person to accept that your
Oh,
own, even though you are not even open to discussion, to deliberation, to even think.
my sister, if
There's
you
no
if you
way you
study
can develop
Sigmund,
without room for learning and unlearning. It is impossible. Because at any time you know one thing, it's like a circle, you know, and that circle can increase or decrease. It's just always that circle of comfort that you know. This is only what you know. It can expand, you know more. You can still shrink, you know. That is growth, that is evolution. How can you be stuck in one place and they will tell you that thing and you hold on to it in spite of all the evidence before you? You refuse to accept. But somehow you are trying to convince somebody or something that everybody is seeing, but only you don't want to see it. That this was not what it is. Like I said yesterday when I was talking, we cannot say there was no colonialism. There was colonialism and we were not the only victims. And now our own is to look for how we can better our own lives. It's no longer on blame games. You can blame anybody from now till tomorrow. It's not going to change your reality. If somebody is calling out your governor that is embezzling your funds, you are saying you hate your own people. Someone is telling you, look how you can do. You say he hates you, he hates you, he hates Igbo cause. Then explain to us what is the Igbo cause. The
oh,
floor is yours.
you see,
This one said, why am I troubled about the issue of Biafra? Why are you people troubling me with the issue of Biafra?
you see, it
Why
can
are you
be
people
on a for the
troubling
do on a
me with the
Biafra.
issue of
We go
Biafra?
to tell on I say, they come anywhere. You go
Why are
to
you
do your own
troubling
now. Bring
Nigeria with
and
the issue of?
come.
Do you know, Ijele? The thing, I'm just looking at this people, I don't get it. You say you are against the British because they do colonialism. I never said they never did colonialism. Everybody
And
know
they
the
want to
history.
colonize me.
Everybody know the history is there. You understand, there is a time for everything, and everybody know that history, that this history it is here, it went down like this globally. Europe went out there and conquered the world. Everybody know that history. That one is not in dispute. The same people that are now crying British, they are still the same people that went to United Kingdom to call them to come and save their British citizen of Nnaha Kanu. And Nnaha is a British citizen. That means he's a subject of Her Royal Majesty. And they are calling on the British Chancellor Kathleen Lyon to come and save him, to come and speak for him in the name of Her Royal Majesty. But the same Royal Majesty is your problem that is supervising what Ojukwu brought upon you. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I'm looking at this thing. I don't like when I'm looking at it, I don't even know where I want to start from talking about it, Ijele.
Hey, my sister, you see, cognitive dissonance. You see, Sigmund Freud, Edward Bonnet was his nephew. That I'm telling you, the father of psychoanalysis. When you saw this psychoanalysis, you will see exactly what the British did before they left Nigeria. And some of our people who understood it turned it on their own people. Having known them as people that grew up with them, they know the culture, they know everything.
Mm.
There is a reason when our people want to do Iboma and wash, they will find an American citizen and send him.
Uh-huh.
The- so
And they are still the same people that are anti. And you know what this Uju, the latest savior in town, Ijele, I hope you caught wind of the new savior. It's a woman. Mhm. That love. Okay, so
okay.
you know, so is a woman now that is the new savior, and she is going global. And one thing I notice is the people that began to follow her change their DP are the same people that said they left Kano, that they now understood they misjudged Kano. And then you realize that there was something in their heart in the first place that Kano latched on, that he
My,
was able to
my
get
my
them.
sister,
And
let
that
me
is what
tell you.
they are
Let me tell you.
anchoring in
My
this
sister,
new
my
savior.
sister. Let me tell you something. In the name of Biafra, every Igbo brain knocks. Now it's up to you to unlock your own by rewiring yourself. Biafra is the drug they gave to our grandparents. They in turn gave them to their parents. Our parents gave to us. Our escape route was the invention of the internet, advancement in technology. The son of a poor man now has access to the same information that was used to be given only to the kings that they were using. Do you know our kings were using eclipse to do our people 419? When they know that eclipse, they were reading all these New York Times, Washington Post, and the meteorological pages. They will see when the eclipse will happen. That was when they were telling you. Sometimes you see some elderly women. Those of us that when we visit the village, we do listen to folk tales. They will tell you that this one actually happened. That it was the year so person was born. Now, when you check that year and the event they were narrating, we see, oh, in the 40s, in the 50s. Now, those of them that were working with the British know when those eclipses will happen. Now they will tell them it will happen so time. Now they will tell our people that Amadioha will give a message that all the evil people will be named that day because of their evil. The day will darken, and if they did not punish those people, that when next it will darken, they will never see sun again. All the green grasses will die. What would they do? After the eclipse, they will say they will sacrifice animal, do this one, turn this one, bonfire, everything. When the thing clears, they will say it's the Ezemo and their people. Now, Ezemo will start listing the names of all the truth sayers in the communities. They will say in those days, they killed this, they buy these ones and their family. In those days, they sent those ones on exile. All these things. If not for the internet, would we know that this 419 started a long time ago?
Mm.
You see how these criminals turn that about the people around me, they are not comfortable. And I don't care. One thing is that all of them, they are shocked. Even this information is hitting them for the first time.
Mm.
We
Yeah,
will
but
tell
I just want to stay on this, because when you are talking about it, like your mind can just drift apart because the whole thing is huge and you couldn't really finish talking about it. But I want to talk about the role the Ojukwu played and why are they insistent on, excusing
Ojukwu was on a
and but they
self-promotional
want to
mission.
say this one is the fault, this one is the fault, and they don't want to acknowledge his role.
My sister, let me tell you, many of them already know who Ojukwu was. I'm telling you, but because they are benefiting from the scam. Mind you, Ojukwu did not eat the reparation money alone. So many other people got their own. And we saw them all of a sudden after the war. You saw some people driving brand new Mercedes. That was the reparation. We know them.
All
There's
right,
all of a sudden.
thank you, Jelly.
So
Let
all
me
of them,
bring.
they did evil. Thank you. Let me leave.
Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Let me bring in our brother Chimeze. Today, you don't want us to see your face, my brother. You're welcome. My brother, you are alive now. Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, Blessed One, and good
You're
afternoon to everyone
welcome.
listening to Blessed One. And thank you so much for doing that, which the mainstream media in Nigeria should have done. Because one thing I've learned in Europe is this: controversial topics, as they call it in the UK, hot potato, is on
Mm.
national media being discussed, no matter how
Mm.
controversial it is.
Mm.
Even the monarchy is being discussed. So what am I trying to say? If since after the war, those actors or players who are still alive and the ones
Mm.
that are diseased, if they had taken the pain to engage on national television for everyone to tell their own side of the story, it would
Mm-hmm.
have been properly documented. Say,
Yeah.
for example, let me use your environment, Germany, as a case study, the Holocaust. It is being discussed, properly documented, and this year, not up to 3 months, one of the security guards was sentenced for
Mm.
his role he played.
Mm.
Same thing as America. The Britain, they fought so many wars, and these have been discussed in the open, with documents and histories and everything. But when
Mm.
it comes to Nigeria now, the likes
Now,
of
it's
Ojukwu is no
according
longer
to
here.
you and according to me, everybody have his
That
own
is
version
it.
of history, and they will
That
still be accusing you. You don't know history. Okay, come and tell us the history that we don't know now. For where?
that is it. Now, the question people need to ask is this: Ndị Igbo, they've always feel this grudge that they were defeated in the war. We would have been happy that we won the war. In a war, one side will win, one side will lose. And that is why, at the end of the war, they said no victor, no vanquish. Now, what most of our generation needs to do is this: we need to unlearn, relearn, and learn back again. Most of these things is taking us nowhere as a people. For how long do we want to hold on to this grudge that we cannot forgive ourselves and move on? Now, the last time I checked, the regions that were part of the so-called Ojukwu Biafra, they've all moved on. They don't even want to associate themselves with that name.
Mm.
And truth be said, before the war, they only had one country, Nigeria. There was no country like Biafra. It was just Nigeria. And you know what? People need to understand, at that time, they were all young. In their 20s and 30s, there was youthful exuberance, or let me just use this word, juvenile delinquency played a role in this. Because, for example, now, ask most of them, why was Ifajuna killed? They will tell you it's a sellout, but they don't know the full story.
Mm.
The same advice he gave, that we cannot go into this.
Mm.
Now, have most of us sat down to ask ourselves, apart from Ojukwu, Colonel Effiong, and few of the military young personnel, were there elders from the southeast, as they call it, from the southeast region then? We had a lot of them. Ojukwu put every one of them in house arrest. Even
Mm.
those that volunteer themselves to mediate with the emir and the Sultan
Mm.
of Sokoto so that this war will be avoided, he refused. His interviews are there.
Yeah.
His arrogant interviews are there. Most of these so-called of our misguided, I wouldn't call them my brothers, these misguided people from the East,
Mm.
have they taken the time to go on YouTube to watch most of the classified videos and
I
interviews?
alighted.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
let me not take your time too much. I wanted to play this video before and it was cutting short.
yeah.
So let me play it a little bit.
At the Lagos airport at 2 p.m.
So he's talking, this
And I
is
spent the next
Nnamdi
21
Azikiwe.
days in visiting the capitals of the 12 states of Nigeria, including 4 university towns and certain parts of the liberated areas of former East. It has made it clear to me that all of us have now realized the mistakes we made in the past by fighting one another. There is a general feeling, which is widespread,
Okay.
that all are now determined to turn a new leaf and help repair the damage we have inflicted on ourselves. Not only that, there is now a deep-seated desire to have effective central government which will hold the federation intact so that in the future no component of it shall be in position to challenge the fatherland. The world has been shocked that an enterprising people like the Igbo have been tongue-tied and emasculated, that they have allowed tyrants to blindfold and hoodwink them.
So this is Nnamdi Azikiwe speaking. So for some reason, the video is having problems. I was trying to show it and it was having problem. That's why you are not seeing it, but you can continue. Maybe you can be reading what he's writing, because actually what he's saying is written there. So he was trying to solicit at this time that they have been foolish, let them stop this thing, because we are one people. And why Ojukwu was even going to collect that flag from American people that have been fighting, real fight, what they have gone through, what they are still going through, you understand? He went to collect it so that maybe he will lash on to that sympathy that, oh, your own fellow blacks, but it went against the purpose of that United UNIA, because they were actually saying all people like this should come together. It was and somebody like this want to seek their support to fight somebody like this. It doesn't make sense, because when they cross the Atlantic and are there, they don't see the difference that you in your small corner in Africa are seeing, that this one is Hausa, this one is Yoruba, this one is Bibi. They are not seeing it because they've been classified as one, have suffered as one across the diaspora, across the Caribbean, from South America to all across the world. They have been seen as one, categorized as one, named as one, judged as one. So you are not lashing onto their flag and thinking that they want to come and help you to come and fight. Like, it goes against the whole fundamental, basis of the whole organization. And they don't care, because they are just looking for any habele face, all of a sudden you just wake up, oh, I want to forget my own country, and they are marching for you. My brother, you can continue.
Now, thank you so much, Blessed, for playing this interview, Like, majority of them now, they don't even want to put that little bit of effort to do their own personal research and come to their own conclusion. Now, they say, prior to the Nigerian Civil War, there were remote and immediate causes. How many of them have tried to, in their own quiet time, try to look at this, literature and material evidence and come to the conclusion, was this enough to go into a war?
You see him, he wants to be president from the back door. All of a sudden, he's not doing matching. He wants to be president. That's all. And why? Because he has gone against the central rule from the center. And he doesn't want to go and face mutiny, just like the other man that faced his own and was
Adakaboro.
judged. Yeah, he knows what was waiting for him.
Yeah.
Exactly. You understand?
And you see, the truth is, the more our people or the people of Southeast keep pushing on this Biafran war, have they gone to Kalabare, Buguma to ask them the experience? You see, I'll be honest with us here.
So this is Ada Kabor. I showed it in the beginning. Ojukwu knows that he has committed mutiny, and this is what awaits him. Federal troops are coming for him, and now rob the whole Igbo people and say we want to fight for our freedom. They have been free before. They were all over the place. Okay, there was a problem because of the the coup and all those things, but everything was coming together. And the solution that maybe you say, oh, they buy some people here, is not to gather the rest so that and then with sticks. And then with sticks.
Like what I was trying to say before you interjected is this.
The same crime, and now you are wanting to make one a savior.
Now, people of the Southeast, do they know the history of the Kalabare, the atrocities committed by the Biafran soldiers? How they were, beaten up, almost trying to push them out of their land.
You know that last week or sometime this year, they were doing a remembrance of what happened to them. Like, it's like they celebrate it every year. And I'm thinking, like, really? So something like this is going on, and people are still perambulating and talking about this Neverland country, and even including these people that are still remembering the whatever you did to them. Like, it doesn't add up.
Now, you see, why I try to bring up this side of the history, which most of the so-called dishonest public intellectuals from the Southeast, they've avoided to say the own side of the atrocities of the Biafran soldiers. Now, the people of the Kalabari as a whole, Kalabari Kingdom, they've forgiven the Biafrans, the Igbos, not only the word Biafran. Most of our people are trading in their communities. They've embraced us by intermarrying, like intermarriage and all those things. Now, if most of them are coming
See the
through this
ogbonge stick where they carry go fight too.
yeah, and these are all underage children. If they've come across, that history,
Ogbonge stick.
let them go and see the history, the trademark. You see, that is why today every country try to avoid, war, because it will leave a destructive, indelible mark in the sands of time.
Are you seeing the sticks? Now the stock up where stock up be this so.
That is it, and most of our people, we need to wake up. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to move on. We cannot carry this burden of 1950s, something that ended 50 years ago, 1970 to 2023, 2022. It doesn't work anywhere. It doesn't work anywhere. All we need to do, move on as a people. We are part of Nigeria. Nigeria is us. Nigeria will serve. And when someone comes to promise them a country, I don't want to even derail that way. If they had, put the consequences in place, I said this yesterday on the program.
See them, now then one go deliver on tear back while he's there doing sempe. You want to be a ruler and you are not seeing it.
Do most of them know that during that period, he was in Enugu smoking his cigarette and whiskey?
Uh-huh.
Did he lose any of his relatives?
And then again, yeah. And again, they want the British people, they are going to the UK Parliament. Actually, they were protesting in front of the UK Parliament. They went to the European Union to come and say, are you a child of there? Now them born you.
You see, I said this thing yesterday, and let me repeat it today again. In Nigeria now, the people from Benin, they believe they have genuine grievances against the British authority. They've taken their grievances not just to British, to every country that historically is holding the artifact, their act, and they're getting it back. Now the question I'm asking: if people of Southeast, we believe we have genuine grievance against the British, we don't need to be doing all this shenanigans. Take it to them. People of India, they've done it. Kenya, they've done it. Now in Nigeria, the Benin, even till this year, they return their bros. They are returning back what was rightfully taken from them. What was stolen from them, they are returning it back. All this, their so-called new messiah tweeting. Rather than tweet, why don't you challenge the authorities? Now there are avenues to challenge if you feel you have genuine grievances. Kenya, they've paid, them reparation. David Cameron formally apologized to the people of India and Bangladesh. Now, if we feel there's a genuine grievance, don't take it out on your fellow Nigerians. Take it to the authority. There are channels to address this thing, but when will we learn our lessons? I don't think we are ready to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
From 1999 to date, what has this so-called thing given us? Anything good? Nothing. Nothing. And at the end of the day, when someone like you and Ijele, who are doing what the national media needs to do, I don't know what they're afraid of. Like this guy that works in Channel, Rufai Oseni, rather than trying to capitalize on Hope Uzodima's speech to whip up the emotional sentiment of the people of the Southeast, why don't he begin to play documentaries of the Civil War? Why don't we begin, why don't Arise take it as a point of duty to, all these declassified video? Let's go back from the build-up, because there are counter-accusations and accusations left, right, and center. And, people need to understand. Then,
we have a visitor here.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. I'll give him the floor to you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's still saying something. I'm just listening. Sorry. My name is Hilary.
Okay.
Well,
I thought
you can pick up from there. Let me give it time to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Hilary Namdi. I'm a graduate of History and International Relations. So over the time, I've read a lot about the Biafran War, the role of the British, the Igbo people involved in the war, the pro-Biafrans and the pro-Nigerians, who are also Igbos. What I mean by that is that those who supported the Biafran idea and those who never supported it, who wanted to remain in the Nigeria.
So before you go on, I just want to tell you to be mindful of the words you are using because of censoring. Yeah.
Okay,
So you know.
okay. All right. On the other way around, I don't know. I just come across it when we are saying something about Ifajina, Nzogo, and the rest of them. You know, what really led to the Biafran War, according to history, which we read from different books, and we come up with a consensus from different books. What I meant by different book is books written by Igbos and books written by non-Igbos. I've read a book where we struck, written by Ademoye Ademoyega, who is one of the senior third majors that involved in the coup, the 1966 coup, which we have Nzogu Chukwuma, then Emmanuel Ifajuna, Mayor, and Major Ademoye Ademoyega. I think he's from Ogun State. He wrote in Why We Struck. He categorically states the reasons why they involved in the coup. So I'm just trying to bring it back why the war was waged and the reason behind the war.
So are you talking about the coup or the role Ojukwu played? I'm talking about the role. I want you to go to the role Ojukwu played.
Is he doing the coup or doing the Biafran War?
No, I'm not talking about the coup. I'm talking about Ojukwu and the role he played in the problem that later ensued, and why Igbo people are intent to exonerate his role that he played to instigate this conflict.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't say that Ojukwu is a messiah, but I will tell you that there are factors, there are reasons that led him play his role during the war. And there is no way we can talk about the Biafran War without us referencing the 1966 coup, which led to the Kano pogrom. And it is the grievance of the Kano pogrom that actually led to the war. And when the war was declared,
that is not it. That is not it. It was
that's one of
the failure to remit to the center. That is the main issue. Not that all those things are the excuse they are giving. The main issue is the failure to remit the generated fund from the region of the southeast to the center. Because when Irosi was taken out, Gowon took over. Ojukwu would not recognize Gowon, and because of that, he refused to remit to the center.
In the military, they have hierarchy. Why would he recognize Gowon, a junior officer, when we have somebody from the West who should have replaced what is his name? The one that was killed. Nzog. Sorry. I'm talking about the one that was assassinated by Gowon, the head of state. So my point is that
no, you are this the same IPOB line you are regurgitating.
It's not IPOB line. I'm trying to be historical. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to tell you that the military has
you are giving a false influence now. This is emotion of the feeling.
No, it's not emotion. It's not emotion. It's my own point of view.
How is he not going to accept a junior officer when they have a senior
officer?
That's
it. It's fact. It happens everywhere.
When the military has come and the whole fact are now, they say this is now the head of state. As a military, your own is to obey. It's not why we then are making. I don't want to recognize it. There are also junior officers in the southwest. Then let the people in the southwest fight for it.
So
hello.
Are you not justifying Yakubu Gowon for taking over power in that?
I don't care about Yakubu Gowon.
No, you should care about
it. Why would Ojukwu? Because he's feeling that he don't want to respect whoever ended up to, and that he will now rob the whole Igbo people and use them as a front to save his ass from the repercussion of his own mutiny. You see.
Ma, as a history student, Okay, as a history student, I have every reason to tell you that you are talking from your own perspective, and it's not
No, no,
historical at
it's
all.
not my perspective. This is a fact. You
Do you
are even
remember that
saying it. I'm
before
telling
Biafra
you
was declared?
the actual
Do you
cause
remember
that
that? Do you
Ojukwu
remember
some
that?
Igbo people.
Do you remember that before Biafra was declared, that the leaders and the elders of Eastern Nigeria, what I mean by Eastern was the former Eastern, the defunct Eastern Nigeria, which comprises the present day Cross River, Rivers, and some of them in the eastern part of the country. Do you remember that all of them came off consensuously to agree that they should have their own nation?
Where did they come
Following the
up?
killing of,
Where did they come together? Where?
it is written in the history. I would, okay, if you are
Where
asking me that,
now?
it is
Because
written.
so
It is written in
wait, are
every
you
book.
telling me that the same people that declare Niger Delta Borough, Niger Delta Republic were also consulted and they accepted that they want to join Ojukwu? Even though just
When
few months
when
ago they talked with
when
them.
Igbos,
Hillary,
what
Hillary,
we fail to understand.
Hillary, can I ask you a question?
You can, sir.
Yeah, you can call me Chimis. I'm okay with that. First, you did make mention of your field of study, like a student of history and international relations. And on that
Yes.
premise, I was expecting a more scholarly and factual engagement. You see,
Okay.
if you can guide us, because we are trying to have a conversation, as a different generation, which we are trying to have a shift of paradigm, so that we don't keep passing on this vengeful narration or narrative to the next generation. Because this thing ended 50 years ago, which is, almost long time enough for us to heal and move on as a people, right? But what I've experienced, even as a child, growing up from 1999, at least I was an adult to date, is the same victim card, victim mentality, marginalization, misplacing everything. That if there is trying to
The
be a
video is under
discourse,
attack again. The video is
oh
under
no.
attack.
Now, if there is trying to be a discourse in the southeast, rather than us to have this discourse each on its merit, they will bundle up everything, they will just put it, they hate in the Igbo. Now, Ma, just give me the
Okay,
privilege to just digress.
they are not hearing us, so I'm going to end and come back again. Please, let's
Okay.
continue.